Hello everyone and welcome. I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to be looking at and hopefully repairing this 1995 plush Polly Pocket doll. As you can see, it's a very cute plush doll with a vinyl head. She has on pink earrings, a pink headband, very pretty blue eyes with sparkles and hearts in them, freckles across her nose, and pink lips. Her hair is in a blue scrunchie and her hair is up in a high side pony, which is very fitting for that time. Now she is dressed in this adorable outfit of a blue dress with pink hearts, the Polly Pocket logo, a cloud, and pink flowers all over it. Her shoes are the same material and her legs are purple and white stripes. She also has these 3 big pockets on the front of her dress, a pink airplane, a pink horse, and a pink house. These are so that she can carry little tiny Polly Pocket dolls with her wherever she goes. How adorable is that? And to show you what that looks like, instead of grabbing a Polly Pocket figure, I guess I just grabbed this sucker because it was nearby. So this is what it would look like if she was holding a figure, or rather if she was holding a sucker. Now, because I'm not willing to spend hundreds of dollars on a doll, I did get this one pretty cheap because it's not in the best condition. We have a big stain here on the front of her dress. Her shoulder is a little bit ripped. There are stains and marks all over the place, like these mysterious black marks on her foot and on her back. Not sure what those are. She's also just really floppy. The stuffing in her chest is just kind of loose and floppy and condensed, so I really want to fix that. Her arms and her legs aren't too bad. I think the stuffing in there is fine. She does have a couple of scratches on her head, like they're on the front and on the back, but there's nothing we can do about that, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now, I did already wash her once before making this video. I washed her head really good. I gave her body a wash. I also washed her hair already, and I gave it a little trim because it's yarn hair, so the ends were really frizzy and fuzzy, so I just kind of trimmed them up a little bit. So she has already been washed. In hindsight, would it have been better to wash her for the first time here while filming so that the video could have a greater impact and her reveal would be more exciting? Yes, of course, but that's just not the way I do things. But I think if we can get the stuffing out, we can give her a much better wash. She also smells heavily of cigarette smoke, so I'm hopeful that if we can wash her really good, she will smell a lot better. Now, in order to replace that stuffing in her chest, we're actually going to have to remove this zip tie, which is holding her vinyl head to her body. I guess using zip ties to attach vinyl heads to plush bodies is a pretty common practice. I thought I was going to have to rip a seam to get the stuffing out and replace it, so I'm actually kind of thankful and happy that it's just a zip tie. And as you can see, Polly's pretty happy about it too. Now, once we cut that zip tie, we are going to have to replace it with a new zip tie, and finding the right size zip tie for this doll was actually kind of difficult. I ended up finding these 8-inch ones. The width of the zip tie is pretty similar to the one that's already in her. It's just that little closure bit, the head, I don't know what you would call it. It's slightly bigger than the one that's already around her neck. I could not find ones that were both long enough to go around her neck, but also small enough to kind of hide there in the hole in the seam of her neck. But we're just gonna have to make do because this is the best I could find. Now, before I go snipping this zip tie off, I will say that I have never done this before. The only information I'm going off of is the one video I watched on YouTube. But it's okay, I'm not worried, and neither is Polly, right, Polly?
I am extremely worried.
Shh. So I just had to get in there being careful not to cut her head and give it a really good snip. And there we go, it almost broke my Dollar Tree scissors, but the zip tie is cut and it is ready to be removed. And once you have removed the zip tie, you can just discard it because who needs that? And with the zip tie gone, Polly's head will easily just slip right out of her body, and that is really creepy. Now I know why her chest was so floppy, because half of the stuffing had creepily gone into her head. If you'd ever wanted to see inside Polly Pocket's head before, well, there you go. That's what it looks like. So now we're just left with this little Polly head that looks kind of cool just standing up actually, but I guess we'll just sit it right here, keep her nice and safe. It's okay, Polly, it'll all be over soon, and we will just focus on getting this stuffing out of her body. The stuffing was very dense, very compacted, and it also really stunk of cigarette smoke. So I think our first step here is to give her a wash. So here is some soapy water and a towel, and we are all ready to go. Like I said, I did wash her once before, but now without the stuffing in her body, I think I'll just be able to get her scrubbed up a little bit better and hopefully just get her a little bit cleaner. After a good wash and rinse, now it is time to squeeze her dry as much as I can before letting her air dry completely. To help facilitate the air drying process, I just pinned Polly's body to the front of a box fan, and of course I kept Polly's head nearby for emotional support. I think she approved of my methods.
I don't approve of any of this.
So here her lifeless body is all dry now. I went ahead and sewed up her shoulder, and that looks a lot better. There are still stains that I just wasn't able to get out, unfortunately, but you know what? This was a used doll. It's very old, very loved and played with, so it's okay to have a few stains. She feels a lot better, she smells a lot better, and I know she's cleaner, so that's good enough for me. So now it's just time to restuff her. I originally thought I would put her old stuffing back inside of her because it seemed sad to separate her from her original stuffing, but it still just smells way too much like cigarette smoke. So here we are with brand new, fresh, clean smelling stuffing. For reference, I looked at pictures of brand new dolls still in the box to kind of get a feel for how full she should be. I also wanted her to be stiff enough that she could sit up on a chair or on a shelf because previously the stuffing was just way too condensed for her to even sit upright. So I am going to be stuffing her quite a bit. So once the body was stuffed, it came time to put the head back on. Here I was making sure that the zip tie width was actually good and that everything would be how I wanted it. Now it's kind of tricky to do this by myself, to put her head in. You have to make sure her head stays in the right place and then get the zip tie in and then tighten it. Thankfully, I eventually realized that it's easier to slide the zip tie into the body before putting the head on. It would probably also make it easier to go ahead and tighten the zip tie a little bit before putting the head in the neck, but I didn't think about that one. Once the head is in place, then you have to tighten the zip tie. This is where it would have come in handy to have already started tightening the zip tie, but I did manage somehow to do this one-handed, and now you just tighten it as much as you want. Obviously, you don't want it too tight because this doll's head is supposed to be able to turn, but I also want it to be very secure, so I'm tightening it as much as I can while also still making sure that her head can turn freely. Once I was happy with that, now came the time of breaking off the end of the zip tie. Now you should be able to actually bend it off, but I just used scissors. There was still a bit of a sharp edge left that I didn't really like, but this won't be played with by children. It will just be sitting on a shelf in my room, so I'm not worried about anyone getting hurt on it, but I did end up taking a nail file and kind of sanding it down just so it was a little softer. So here she is after a good cleaning, all stuffed, put back together, a few loose strings snipped and sewn up. I think she has improved a lot, and I don't feel grossed out anymore just by touching her, so that's a big plus. And I figured for this special occasion I would stop being lazy and actually get out some real Polly Pocket dolls so that you can see what it would actually look like for Polly Pocket dolls to be in the Polly Pocket dolls' little pockets. Little Polly Pocket dolls in the Polly Pocket doll pockets. That's really hard to say. And as we say goodbye, you can look at this montage of Polly where she will be spending all of her time in my bedroom in my collection of various toys. Oh, look at how cute she is there sitting with the Care Bear. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you thought of this restoration of sorts of this Polly Pocket doll. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I very much hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.